Well, here we are on a sunny Sunday afternoon in Nottingham, and I'm met up with Wes Blakey, who's the chair of the Nottingham and Derby district of Methodist Church. So Wes, please, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how did you become chair of district?
Well, as people will know from my accent, I'm originally from County Durham, and ever since my early teens I've wanted to be a Methodist minister. And so I was a local preacher at 16 and went to theological college at 20. And ever since then, I have served the church for 40 years in this role.
So what actually is a chair of district?
Oh, a chair of district. People describe it as being the nearest a Methodist gets to becoming a bishop. And I suppose in one sense that's right, because I have oversight of almost 100 ministers and 250 churches divided into 24 circuits. And so I get to have that oversight and help with the comings and goings of ministers and help with the policy of the district and the finance and the grants and all those sort of things on a wider basis.
So what does that actually mean in practice? What sort of things do? Do you go in lots of meetings?
Well, yes, I preach every Sunday, nearly every Sunday, in different parts. It's it has been unkindly called hit and run preaching. But that's lovely because of the many people in this district. You get, over the 10 years I've been here, you get to know people and share worship with them and share in communion with them. So that is one thing I do. Clearly there's meetings I go to in the policy and the safeguarding and the mission of the church. I go to connectional meetings, the national meetings, to represent Nottingham and Derby nationally in Methodist circles, and then to bring back to Nottingham and Derby some of the things that the national church is saying, so that we can, on the ground as it were, implement things in the way that we think we should.
So what would you say from your perspective are some of the main challenges for the church in the 21st century?
Oh, that's a big question, of course, but I think one of the main challenges is that things are now, in this generation, moving so fast in every direction, is for the church to keep up. We like our traditions, and there's nothing wrong with that, but to build on them in such a way that we actually speak to people who are not in our traditional culture. And so to be able to speak of the faith, not necessarily in a tub-thumping way, but to speak of the faith in such a way that it will help them and make a difference to them, and so that they will know something of the love of God in real terms.
So what's your favourite part of the job?
My favourite part of the job actually is one of the simplest. It's just going around seeing people and chatting to people before services, after services, at coffee mornings and do's like that, even in lunchtime at Synod, just catching up with people and getting to know the ins and outs of where they're at, because I think those one-to-one contacts are very important in any kind of ministry, in any kind of vocation, so that that enables us to work better together. And that's one of the good things that, as I've been here, people have warmed to that kind of approach, and I've loved being part of it.
So here we are at your farewell service. Yes. So this is the end of this chapter of your life.
That's right.
What's next for you?
Well, in some ways I want to say who knows, but I'm going to take some time when I'm not involved formally in church matters and be able to spend a little more time with family. They've sadly had to be squeezed into times that have been vacant. I would like to learn to play golf a lot better. I'd like to get a greenhouse and be more involved in a garden. I'd like to do some writing of things that I've had scraps of paper about, and just get something together. Whether it'll come in a book or not, I have no idea, but it will be helpful to me just to get things down. And I'd like to take up watercolour painting. I'd like to join a choir with my wife. You can tell there's a whole list of things, and even if I do half of those, I shall be happy. And then perhaps once I've got into some sort of routine of doing the things that have taken a sideline, then yes, of course, I'll be doing things in the church, but in a more background way and a more supportive way than at present.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be busy. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and every blessing for the future.
Thank you, Tim.